Hi everyone, welcome to Suzan Signature Success Show. Today we have the honor to welcome Geoffrey Calhoun from USA. Welcome, Geoffrey.
Hey, thanks a lot for having me on, Susan.
I'm very excited to have you today here. Could you please introduce yourself, who you are, what you are doing?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm Geoffrey D. Calhoun. I am the best-selling author of the book, The Guide for Every Screenwriter, and the host of the Successful Screenwriter podcast.
I'm very curious to know why you publish your first book.
Why did I do it? Well, screenwriting is a really difficult craft and art to learn, but it's also exceptionally popular. A lot of people turn to screenwriting because people love movies and everybody wants to tell the story. Everybody has a story in them somewhere. So screenwriting has become very popular among people to express themselves. But there's a lot of books out there that are hard to understand. You can go to college classes, you can do all kinds of things, but it's hard to really have a book that isn't too deep and textbooky like a college book. So mine is more like a reference guide that is easily accessible from anybody. So anybody can pick up my book and actually learn the craft of screenwriting and write a screenplay from a simple book that only takes a short time to read.
Thank you. Could you share with us your success habits?
Yeah, I am pretty focused. So when I sit down to do something, I really do it. I don't really get distracted when I'm doing something. I don't waste time. So single focus is a big thing for me. Time management, being able to work through different projects and provide my skills that way is also important because you can get very scattered. And then being able to work with people, like as a screenwriter, I work with producers, directors. I've worked with Emmy award-winning directors, and I have to be able to work with them to have their vision in my script. And so being able to work with other people and satisfy what they want is also very important.
Yes, that is right. Which are your top 3 values?
I think authenticity is very important. With me, I'm very much what you see is what you get. There can be people in the industry where you can get backstabbed, or they're really out for themselves, or they're false friends where you think they're rooting for you, but they're really working against you. So you can run into that. But I believe in being, who you are and really holding, an authentic self-value, because other people truly appreciate that. And on top of that, I would say integrity as well. So I would throw that in. And then also you have to be tenacious. You have to not give up. You have to have the ability to have somebody tell you no a million times and then keep going, because in this craft, you run into a lot of walls. It's very difficult to kind of break in. So you have to have that kind of a tenacity about you that you can keep going.
Yes, I like them. I consciously choose this name, Signature Success. For me means vision for the fiction. What is your signature success?
So what is my signature success? I think what I bring to the table, which is unique, because I work with a lot of writers. I teach screenwriting as well, and I mentor writers who are trying to break in, is I treat other writers as a mentor. So I work with them. So I don't just come in and I fix a project or I fix a screenplay, but I also kind of help educate other writers on how to become better, how to level up their game. So I look at it more of a relationship as a mentorship, whereas a lot of other writers out there that quote fix scripts like I do like I have a business, wefixyourscript.com. Other writers that work like that, they'll just tell you, a lot of negative feedback, a lot of negative criticism on the work, but not necessarily how to become better at it.
Great job. According to your life experience and knowledge, what is the most important thing to be successful in life?
Life can be tough, man. It can really beat you down, and not and sometimes feel like it's not going to relent, like it's not going to stop. One thing I think, and I think you'll appreciate this, in my book I talk about three things: time, talent, and tenacity. You have to have, it takes time to make it. So if you can just stick with it for long enough, eventually you'll find a success. If you developed a skill at being really good at something, that helps as well. And then by not giving up, by being tenacious with those three things, I truly believe you will find success.
Yes, good combination. Which lesson in life was most difficult for you to learn?
That perfection can feel unattainable. That you have, when you're writing a script, when you're writing a screenplay, eventually you have to get to a point where you feel like, okay, this is what it's supposed to be. And you don't want to keep going back and reworking it, because then you'll rewrite it to death. And then it just becomes a slump of garbage of everybody else's thoughts, and not a piece of art and craft that you have developed that was inspired from your inside soul, if you want to say. So I would say learning to accept that eventually it is what it is.
If you could have one tip for the audience, what it could be?
For screenwriting, if you're going to go into the craft that I have, or I guess if you're approaching anything new, is to be patient, but still enjoy your passion. I know a lot of writers that come into this craft and they write their first screenplay, and they have this fantasy that they're going to sell it and they're going to make thousands or millions of dollars, and they're going to have that Hollywood agent call them, and things are going to be huge, and going to have the red carpet event. And that's fantasy. That's not the reality of it. But I love the passion there. If somebody is writing and they're telling a story that means a lot to them, and it's full of passion, that's awesome, because when that's refined after several drafts, you'll have something special there that can really speak to people. But you also have to understand that when you're breaking into something, it takes a long time and a lot of skill. I mean, I've been doing this 15 years, and I'm just now starting to get a little bit of recognition. So I think being patient with your passion is important.
Understand. Is there something that you want to change in the world? If is, what is it?
Well, I mean, there's so much anger. You go online and you watch the news, and there's just angry people everywhere. And I wish there was a way to ease that up and bring people together. I think social media has been the opposite effect. Social media was great when it came out because it allowed people to reconnect who haven't seen each other in years, which is awesome. But the other thing is it's given everybody a public voice, which in theory sounds great, until you start reading, trolls and hate speech and all of this stuff, and you start realizing, okay, we've kind of lost a level of decency that used to be there, because you can hide behind the veil of the internet. So I wish, I grew up, I'm a Generation Xer. I grew up without the internet. I remember when the internet was created. And I remember having to go out in public and watch my P's and Q's and really learn how to get along with people. And I feel like that's been lost a bit.
I understand. Could you share one secret about you with us?
One secret about me. I almost died when I was 30. I actually had a what they call a cardiac event, which is like a heart attack, and ended up in the hospital and we got treated for it. And so when that happened, it was very eye-opening, and I started realizing, okay, what am I doing? Because I was still writing, but I wasn't trying to do anything with it. And after that happened, I realized, okay, I need to chase this passion. I don't know how much time I have left.
Thank you for your honesty and vulnerability.
Yeah.
Okay. Could you share to the audience how they can reach out to you?
Yeah, sure. They could go to thesuccessfulscreenwriter.com. That's my website for my podcast. There you can find my book. You can find episodes from my show. We even have screenplays you can read from big Hollywood movies for free. We have books you can read. And we even have, instructional videos you can watch, all for free. So I have a whole, if you're interested in screenwriting, that's the website to go to.
Yes. Thank you for being today with us.
Yep. My pleasure.